profitable, has decided that he's going to face the challenge of bringing youth into farming, and decided to make farming predictable to the extent that they'll be able to access, farmers will be able to access finance and insurance. Welcome to Dev TV. My person of inspiration today is an amazing man that has a bachelor degree in surgery, has another bachelor degree in biochemistry. Development, certificate in public population health, another certificate in agriculture, general agriculture, a disruptive strategy from Harvard Business School. He has worked as a laboratory assistant, a research assistant, research associate. He's now a co-founder of a company called Nutraceutical. Please join me and welcome our person of inspiration, Samson Ogbole. Welcome, sir.
Hi, good morning.
How are you today?
I'm very fine, thank you.
I mean, before we get into our discussion, I'm just intrigued by your background, and I'm intrigued by all of the academic qualifications you've got. And what I especially like, given where you are now, it looks like an evolution of knowledge that basically has gotten you to become a co-founder of this Nutraceuticals. Is this a planned journey, or did it happen by accident? How did that happen? Hello, Samson?
I am guided. I am lucky to have people who I look up to who know this is the next you should be doing next. And so I'm always willing to listen to have mentors. It's of no use trying to create new paths where others have worked before. So I listen to them and they tell me, yeah, this is what you need next. This should be your next point of call to get to where you are going. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So it's always been in the plan to effectively be a farmer or somebody that produces food, and all of the things that you've achieved is basically a pathway to that, to achieve that objective of becoming a farmer.
The plan wasn't be a farmer. The plan was health. Right. The plan has always been health. Hence, the journey started from 19. But as I moved along the path, as things happened, I got to realize more and more every day that health was beyond hospitals, health was beyond the pharmacy, that the foundation of health is farms, not medicine, not the hospitals, but farms. And so gradually, as I understood more what I needed to know, I got to actually realize, okay, there are some courses, there are some certifications, there are some knowledge I need to acquire to perform better. You cannot lead if you don't read. So the only pathway leading was for me to read, to understand from books, not to repeat same mistakes, not to walk in ignorance. Passion alone is not enough. Passion without knowledge, you will just create more catastrophic as compared to actually making real impact. So it's not enough to say, oh, I have a passion to ensure people are healthy. I needed to know, okay, what is the path to take? What shouldn't I do? What needs to be done? Yeah.
So I mean, this is interesting for me. I mean, it's certainly a point of inspiration. The statement you made earlier about passion and knowledge. It's always the case that people feel that passion is enough, that if you're passionate, you will generally find your way through any problem. But what you appear to be saying is that really if you have passion for something, you need to drill down on the knowledge of that thing, so you can actually deliver your ambition as profitable as possible. Would I be right in some?
Yes, if you're passionate about something, does not mean you have the tools to accomplish the passion. So there is always the need to remember that you need to study, you need to read, you need to learn from other people's experiences, mistakes, and principles, so that you are able to do things right. If somebody says, I want to become a footballer or an athlete, you don't just passionately take to the tracks. You have to train and retrain and retrain. So in the process of retraining, they are going to tell you, okay, this is how you eat, this is when you wake up, this is what you don't drink, and all of that. So you realize in learning, you are getting discipline. I mean, an athlete probably did not know you should not eat at certain times. But as you go higher in the athletic world, they start telling you, okay, this is when you should eat, when you should not eat, and all of that. So if you just say, oh, I am passionate, the problem in the world is not that we don't have people with talents. The problem in the world is not that we don't have people that are passionate. It's an issue of we don't have the same dedication to knowledge as we have to our passion. The best singers that win Grammy and all of that are not necessarily the best among, they don't necessarily have the best voice. They just took time to add knowledge to their talent, to their passion. Without the knowledge economy, if there is no knowledge, every other thing will be futile. So there is a need to always add knowledge to whatever it is we need to do.
And this is very interesting for me. So, because some of the problems we have, it appears at least in developing nation, is that we have a lot of people that have done a lot of academic work and have the qualification to deliver some of the things that we really need to be delivered. But something appears to be stopping them. I mean, I don't know if you have any colleague that or any person that you've come across in your career so far that really is talented and has not been able to reach his or her potential. What do you think that is? Is that one element of this missing? Is it the knowledge that's missing, or is it that the knowledge is not adequate, or perhaps the person has gotten knowledge in the wrong sector, or it's just that passion is just not there? What do you think that is?
Well, the reality is when it comes to there are people who are core academicians who have devoted themselves to just the knowledge economy, and they are not able to balance it with reality. Now, it's not like it's bad. So all they need to do is look for somebody who can translate their theoretical work to physical work. I'll give an example. You realize today in Nigeria, every university, every science-based university has a whole lot of research is going on. But the reality is, most of the time, these topics are in areas that the everyday man cannot benefit from. And it takes, for instance, we are doing a research work on how to increase the life of grasshopper. The question is, how does that benefit the everyday man? Now, it's important that as researchers, we must be able to always ask ourselves, who is this helping now? Or who is this going to help? But we realize for the academician, their research are for the purpose of promotion in their workplace. It's not really for human impact. So if we want to have a translation of this research to human impact, then first and foremost, we must be able to have a body on who is willing to support the researchers, because I understand where the researchers are coming from. If they are taking their salaries to pursue research, they would not be looking at how to translate that to a whole different economy. Rather, they would want to focus on areas where they are taking the time. So if we must translate our research to help the people, there is a need for what I call strategic partnership. because somebody that is good in the lab how to translate. Meanwhile, there are other people who may not be too good in the lab, but understand how to transcend from lab to real life application. So you work with such people, carry them along in the design. Not that you do design in isolation and bring it to them because they may not even know whether that fits in or not. Because today we have some great research works that are relevant but not helpful to the everyday. So there is a need to ensure that whatever research you're doing has a real life application here and now, or at most in a few years. Not that you do researches that either they're actually outdated, you're just doing it for the purpose of publications. I mean, you go online and you get so many publications that Nigerians put out almost every week. Yet, all of this cannot be used for anything. So it means you are getting promotion, but the people are not promoted because their life remains the same or worse, despite the fact you feel you are coming out a whole lot of knowledge.
Wow. So I suppose that's this is fascinating. This is really beautiful. So we have, so the key issue we need to take away from that is really that we need to match our research with the needs of the people. Because currently, especially in Africa and in Nigeria, we have so much needs, we have so much issues that we need researchers to attend their minds to. And we have to have appropriate partnership with people that can translate those fantastic research and their result into real businesses, which is essentially what you have done. Not only have you been a researcher, but you have now translated all of the research that you've done in terms of nutrition, in terms of health, into real business. Now, can you please talk us through how your translation of this incredible work that you've done will resolve food? I like the idea of food becoming cheaper and will make agriculture more profitable. And I especially like a video I saw of you describing how you can just plant yam in the air. So it'd be really nice if you can just share that with us.
Okay, yeah, so essentially, in agriculture today, using Nigeria as a case point, the first thing is we understand that the average age of the Nigerian farmer is about 60 years, which in itself is scary because it means in 20 years, our fathers are too old to go to the farm. And realize people who are even thinking of agriculture today are the civil servants who are retiring, meaning they don't really have a fundamental knowledge of agriculture. They just want to retire and they see it as, well, whatever happens because they will still keep getting their pension. Two, there is the reality of climate change that is hitting us first. And then three, we also understand the fact that there is what we call urban migration as youth are looking for greener pastures, they are moving out of the villages and all of that. And four, unfortunately, the government or some government officials believe, the way to help people come into agriculture is to distribute things like hoes, cutlass, wheelbarrows, and the rest. And this is not sustainable. So as a person, I thought, if we understand what agriculture actually stands for, that agriculture is not just production. Because if agriculture were just about food production, then we can have a seamless method where we have a place where we import all our foods from. And we see there is food security. But it is much more than that. You realize determines our health, determines our life, determines how long we are going to live. I mean, if it is no coincidence that when food was healthy, the time of death was a bit longer, like 70, 80, 90. In the past, with our forefathers, despite the fact that they have good education and all of that, they lived as much as 100, 120 years. But somehow, with better education, hospitals, facilities, and all of that, the expected death age now is about 50, 60, which means we have forgotten something about the fundamental, which is food. So, first, we need to understand agriculture, that agriculture is not just about filling the stomach, it's ensuring productive lives. One. Two, agriculture also ensures that the environment is taken care of. So we are not just about food production, we are also about the environment. I'll just give this example. We do not say because we want to cook our food, we burn down the house to make firewood. So we cannot say because we need to produce food, we burn down the planet. Because there is no deal we would say we want to shift to after we destroy the earth. So for us, agriculture is first and foremost, we say it must be healthy for the farmer, because in any economy where the farmers are sick and poor, that country cannot amount to much. It's that simple. If you look at developed nations, look at their farmers. They may not be the richest, but they are not the poorest of the poor. But when you come to developing or underdeveloped nations, you realize the highest percentage of the people are farmers. One, worse than that, they are poor. It simply tells us that if we want the economy to be up and doing, all we need to do is empower the farmers. If the farmers are empowered, automatically majority of the population is empowered. So there is wealth distribution. So we say first, agriculture must be healthy for the farmer. Two, it must be healthy for the consumer. Because you realize that today, most farmers are driven by profit rather than health. And that in itself is a big issue, because when you are driven by profit as opposed to health, it becomes anything to make profit is fun. But if you are driven by health, if that the health of the nation is on me as a farmer, you will still make profits, definitely, you will. But it changes the way that agriculture is practiced. Then number three, we say it must be healthy for the environment. It must be healthy for the environment. And the way to ensure this is to bring in technology. We cannot practice agriculture like our forefathers did. I mean, it's in every other sphere of life, from education to banking sector to the financial institute, to communication. Technology has taken over every other aspect. Why not agriculture? Because it's funny that the one sector that ensures survival, the one sector, I mean, we can live without, somebody can stay without money for a day. We can stay without clothes. We can stay without buying multiple clothes. We can stay without communication for a day. But you do not think of going out without food. And somehow, the foundation for survival, the foundation that ensures that we have clean air to breathe, that for some weird reasons technology is not able to permit. Hence, we are driven to ensure we can bring in technology to agriculture. And it is not just about bringing in big machines, because if we bring in technology that is not cheap enough for people to use, it cannot be adopted. Because we must provide technology that the poor farmer can afford. If it is too expensive for the poor farmer to afford, that means over 50% of the population cannot use it. Automatically, it cannot make any real difference. So for us, we are looking at them. Why then did we bring in soilless farming? I hear people say things like Nigeria has enough land. True. But the reality is we do not have enough fertile land. So it's not about having land, it's about having what we call fertile land. As at 1979, either 79 or 89, Professor Agboola of University of Ilorin did a nationwide profiling of Nigerian soil and realized that less than 40% of Nigerian soil as at then was fertile enough for growing.
Less than 40%?
Less than 40% was fertile enough for growing. And the question for me is, if as at then, about 10, 20 years ago, the soil was not, only about 40% was fertile for growing, what would it be today? And we understand the fact that one of the reasons why there is so much poverty in the land is because we depend on nature, on weather for our growing of food. So take for instance, one of the most consumed vegetables in the country is tomatoes. And we realize that there is a time in the year where tomatoes becomes very cheap, that irrespective of how poor the person is, you can afford tomatoes. And there is a time that tomatoes become so expensive that only the middle class and the upper class can actually afford tomatoes. And what is the reason for this? Because the weather changes. But we had a way to produce food without depending on the weather. Automatically, be in a year becomes the constant price of tomatoes year round. That would mean that the cheapest maize can be in a year becomes the constant price of maize, meaning automatically the price of food will crash. And the only way to do that is to find a way to produce food without necessarily depending on nature, in quotes. Hence, soilless farming. So in soilless farming, what we are just doing is removing the soil component that would naturally limit production all year round, because we understand that food production should not be seasonal, because hunger is not seasonal. There is no, oh, this is hunger season, let's be hungry. This is not hunger season, now let's not. So with soilless farming, we are able to ensure that food production can be any time of the year, not just a specific time of the year. And people would ask questions like, how then do you ensure you can grow your food without soil? I say it's simple. If we understand the function of soil, we can easily eliminate soil. Soil has just three basic functions to any plant. One, soil gives support to the roots of the plant to ensure the plant can stand firm. Two, soil helps in water retention to hold water for the plant. And three, soil helps in aeration. Now, it's important that the listeners understand that provide nutrients. Soil doesn't provide nutrients for the plant. To explain that, it's simple. If soil provides nutrients, we would not have to add fertilizer to the soil. The essence of fertilizer is because, you are saying the nutrients around where the soil is has been depleted. So I need to bring in a supplement to help it come up, because the presence or absence of nutrients in the soil is dependent on the presence of inorganic material, which comes from the nutrient or welding a rock, while the presence of organic nutrient around a soil is dependent on their decay matter around that soil. So once we eliminate the soil, automatically we are able to produce crops without seeding. Two, we also understand that most of the pathogens that affect plants are found within the soil. So if I am able to remove the soil, I have automatically eliminated those pathogens. Which shows that for a farmer, pathogens are one of the major issues. Take, for instance, today in Nigeria, an hectare of land gives about 20 or 25 tons of tomatoes. Meanwhile, in civilized nations, they get about 100, 150 tons. Wow. So we need to ensure that we can support the local farmer to produce more in a small space. And with soilless farming, we are able to push the farms from the interior villages closer to the urban center. I am a firm believer in not waiting for the government to provide all the solutions. We should be able to do something. My reason is simple. I understand the fact that I always tell people this: we cannot wait for people whose offices are based on tenure to decide our life that is not based on tenure. I mean, the person probably spends 4 to 8 years and they are out. But I am not going to say after 4 to 8 years of living, I am out. So why wait for a person that his office is based on tenure to decide my every outcome? I say that to say is one of the reasons we push for soilless farming is, yes, the roads are not good, but if we can push the farms closer to the cities where the foods are needed, then the issue of the road network, the transportation, becomes less of an issue, because now the farms are closer to the people that need it.
Wow. No, I mean, this is incredible. This is inspirational, I think we have very poor understanding of agriculture. I mean, one of the things that you really taught me, at least on this broadcast, is that you don't need soil to grow your food, and the fact that soil doesn't provide nutrients for the plants, that's a revelation for me. I've always thought that we need soil for all of the nutrients that the plants get. The other thing that really is shocking for me, though, is the fact that in Nigeria, at least, we only have I mean, it might be a lot less now. We have 40% of fertile land. Now, can I just ask a question before we close? What's the difference between, is it arable land and fertile land? Is it the same thing? Because when you read statistics, it's always that we have so much land that we're not using for food purposes. Is there a difference between those two things?
Yeah, when we say the land is arable, it means this land technically can grow if we can revive the soil. There are some soils that you know that, oh, this land cannot grow anything at all, irrespective of what you do. But in arable, we look at this can grow, but it doesn't mean it is fertile. But oh, you can bring in fertilizers and all of that, and the soil will pick back up. But when we say fertile for growth, it means I can go there without any addition of anything, and the land is good enough to support my crop.
I see. Okay. And what you're not doing in the system that you're developing, we don't have to even deplete those nutrients in the current in the fertile land, because we can provide nutrients to the crop without using the land itself. So hopefully that will last us a bit longer.
Yeah, it will last us a bit longer. Yeah.
Brilliant. I mean, I'm so sorry. I mean, it's been an amazing thing, and you really have to come back to so we can drill down in some of these issues, especially all the technology that you're bringing into agriculture. But before you go, can you talk to us about the 520 that you have on your profile, and if you can tell us where people can reach you if they want to get in touch with you.
So the 520 is a program we'll be having next year, 520. We call it 520 because next year is 2025, because it will be in the month of May. And the program is called Soilless Farming Laboratory. For the lack of a better word, that's why we call it Soilless Farming Laboratory. But the goal is we have three aspects to it. So number one, we have technology. So under technology, we'll be teaching people how to build soilless farms. We'll be teaching people how to build robots, how to build artificial intelligence for the farms. And like I said, the idea is we understand that people who need to understand how to build robots and all of that has to be the youth. Because when we say agriculture, we are not saying everybody needs to go to the farm. We need other in other aspects of the value chain. So under technology aspect, we are teaching people how to build basic farm tools and robots that can be deployed even by illiterate. Like I always say, a technology that is too expensive for the common man does not help anybody. Because the reality is, a technology that only the rich can afford means that there is still poverty in the land. Because a proper technology is a technology that the poor can afford, used to increase efficiency and productivity. That way, we are able to do proper wealth distribution. So for the first 3 days, we'll be discussing on technology, teaching people how to build these tools, how to do basic coding and all of that. Then on the 4th day, we'll then go into the business aspect of agriculture. And we are what you call agri-business, because it is not enough for you to say, I can build X, Y, Z. The question is, who do you market to? How do you market? There will also be teaching and showing people some of the loopholes that currently exist.
Hello? Hello, Samson? Hello, Samson? Samson? We'll try and get Samson back. I think we're probably having internet issue. He was just telling us about 520, these incredible programs that he's got going on in May of 2020, where they'll be teaching people how to do soilless farming and build robots that'll be used by the common man. Oh, you're back. Excellent.
Used by the common man. Then
right.
So that's so we'll be able to then we'll, of course, teach people how to do finances, because we realize that for so many startups and farmers, they do not know how to actually manage their finances. And that is one of the reasons why they tend to run a lot at a loss. They manage agriculture as though it is my personal income. to also teach people how to manage their finances and all of that. Then on the 5th day, we will go into things like tissue culture, proper robotics,
Right.
their products, and also tissue culture is how you are able to produce clean materials, clean seed in the lab kind of setting. Then on the Saturday, everybody gets to practicalize what they have learned. And let me also add that we only have 50 slots available so that we can actually manage properly everybody that is coming in, so that everybody has hands-on experience. So on the 6th day, that is, everybody gets to practicalize. So only those that are able to set up the farm properly, automate their farm, actually get the certificate. That's when I say certificate, like a real certificate that shows these are your capacities or capabilities. But for others, you just get certificate of attendance if you are not able to develop from scratch, build something that is usable. Because the idea is, at the end of the day, you should be able to build something that to farmers and they are able to use for real life application. So it's not just going to be theoretical knowledges and all of that. And we're also going to have on board association of the president of Association of African Association of Vertical Farmers. She will be around to watch the process, and those who pass get inducted automatically into the association for that period. It's going to be a program of 7 days, and we are going to have hotels that will cook. We are paying for their food, accommodation, everything to cater to. So, and share that on my social pages or through my email.
Okay. Is that the same email I have? Should I share that with people? This one?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Is this the email? This is the email on the screen right now. Can you see the email on the screen?
Yes, that's the email.
Excellent. Listen, Samson, thank you very much for the inspiration and the knowledge that you shared with us today. My hope is that you will come back and explain a whole lot more, because there's so much that I would have loved to ask you about the technology of farming, soilless farming, and how it can be profitable, and how it makes sense for financiers to get involved in it, and how insurance can really work with you. So people can begin to fully understand that this is the business that they can do with a shirt and tie. And I like your TED talk where you were suggesting that all of this can be done by robots, and you can do it by your smartphone. I hope that you will come back. I hope we can schedule time for you to come back to explain all of those to us. Thank you very much for your time today, and I am very confident that you've inspired a whole lot of us. Is there anything else that you want to share with us before we close out the show?
Yeah, I would just say, right now you may not be a farmer, but you can help farming in the future by ensuring you do not waste your food.
Fantastic. That's a lovely way to close. Thank you very much, Samson, and thank you for watching. I hope you've all got inspired as much as I have got inspired. I certainly now feel like I can be a farmer now that we have this new method of doing farming. Thank you for watching, and please leave comment suggestions in the comment section below. If you're in LinkedIn, you can contact Samson through his LinkedIn profile and the email on screen. If you're on Facebook, I'll put all of his contact details and website on Facebook and YouTube, so you can contact him if you so wish. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.